And we get into our Jedi Drill, okay? Our Jedi Drill, we're looking at a field where we set up 2 sets of cones about 5 to 7 yards apart, and then a lane that's about 12 to 15 yards long. Generally what we like to do is limit the passes the defenseman's allowed to knock down to 10 passes. The attack guys are standing on each end. They're allowed to move anywhere between this 5 to 7 yard range. And one of the reasons that we give them that area to be able to move is because we want to start keeping our head on a swivel, okay? We don't want our defenseman staring at the ball, all right? So, here, they're going to be able to snap passes back and forth. The defenseman, again, he kind of has to stay in the middle. I'll sometimes put a cone in the middle between the 2 sides that he has a little bit of an anchor area, because sometimes defensemen end up dropping in to try and cover these guys rather than keeping their head on a swivel and properly making sure they move their feet to stay in that skip lane. Okay, great for man down work, especially because the guy's got to find that lane by looking over his shoulder. I think a lot of problems young defensemen have is they've got really good sticks and they got to get confident in the idea of staring down the passer and trying to read his eyes, which is really where we come in with some of our offensive stuff. I like to, again, keep track of points here. If you want to make it a challenge with however many guys can tip balls and catch them, 1 point for a tip, 2 points for a catch. The other thing you can do to make this drill a little bit more challenging for the D guys is you can also have them turn their sticks upside down so that they have to try and knock it down with their butt end.
So a big part of our Jedi drill here, for whether we have attackmen or midfielders here on the outside, is making sure that we're throwing stick fakes and we're being deceptive. So one thing I like to teach our attackmen is to kind of utilize your eyes and your body language to throw off, kind of misdirect where this defender is going to think that ball's going. So maybe look to your left, turn your shoulders to the left, and snap that ball to the right. Now, don't get in the habit just because you're looking off your passes to kind of lose your accuracy and start throwing passes without even looking at your target. It's important that even though you're being deceptive, you still make sure you know exactly where that ball's going. You're still putting it right on their stick, and you're still snapping your passes off. We don't want to take any air off of it. We also don't want to kind of lose that accuracy just because we are deceptive. Another thing we want to work on is our fakes. When we throw fakes at FLG, we keep everything really tight. We like to utilize box fakes so that way you're never in a position where you can't release a pass or a shot. When you kind of throw those really big extended fakes and your stick's all the way out here away from your body, it's really hard to reel it back in and quickly get a pass off. So when we throw fakes, we throw one little cradle with our top hand, whether it be our left or our right, and then we release that pass right from there. We're keeping that stick right at our collarbone, right at our ear, so we can quickly get those passes off right after we throw those fakes. I'm okay with throwing multiple fakes, but at the same time, we want to keep that stick in a position where we can easily get those passes off. So that's kind of how we work on stick fakes and being deceptive here in this Jedi Drill.
Also really good for both sides to make sure that you keep your feet moving, right? Try and find that lane where the defenseman's not looking and move your feet while you're passing and catching on the perimeter.
And you can have different variations as to how you move on the outside. You know, we do this drill where if we're moving from one cone to the other, we're constantly either backpedaling or running forwards. We do it other times when we're shuffling from one side to the other. You can even have kids karaoke once they get really good at it. You know, it's good to work. You kind of work on that footwork, but at the same time, you're working on getting passes off through traffic.